Well, hi, I'm George Smitherman here with my friend Peter Athanasopoulos. He works for the Canadian Paraplegic Association, and today I'm taking part in their Leaders Chair event. Today we're going to go on a little ride on the Toronto Transit Commission, experience some of the places where accessibility has been addressed and some of the places where it remains a deficiency. I plan to make the priority of accessibility higher ranking in the order of priorities for the Toronto Transit Commission and for the City of Toronto. We'll start here at Kipling. An accessible station will address the Mind the Gap challenge, where we try to get ourselves safely inside a subway car. We'll get off at Royal York, where we will be restricted to the platform, and we'll just take a look at what it must like to be to confront those stairs, and then we'll end our short journey at Jane Street, which I'm told is an accessible station as well. We've often focused on accessibility just from the standpoint of handicap, but increasingly in a society that's aging, the necessity of a focus on accessibility becomes all the greater. TTC has got its attention focused in too many directions, and I don't support the emergence of a new headquarters and a museum, because I think that time and attention could be better spent on accessibility. What Peter didn't tell you was a story that he told me a few minutes ago, and I'll try and tease it out of him, about a circumstance where in trying to board a subway car, he actually got thrown out of his chair. He was in the car, and his chair was left in the station as the train was pulling out of the station.
When was that, Peter?
It was a while ago. It was a few years ago. I was just by myself trying to get on the subway, and I fell below. I flipped out trying to get in because my chair just hit the front end of the car, and I just went catapulting. So, yeah.
Pretty intimidated about that gap situation.
You know what? It's making me nervous too.
Peter, do you always have to have somebody help you get over the lip?
I typically, since I've had that little tragedy, I like having people around.
Okay.
What is the circumstance going to be if I can't flip this thing? Because I don't really have it. I can't get those. I can't get these things.
You know what might be easier?
I need to get it elevated like that,
go
right?
Backwards.
Oh yeah, I can feel it when it clicks in. Kind of thing you notice when you're in a wheelchair and that you don't otherwise notice.
Now there's always one seat here that flips up.
Yeah.
Now the challenge of getting on, coming over here, flipping this seat up, and actually sitting there is not going to happen. Right? It's too difficult. What I typically do is come in. Unfortunately, I have to block a bit of traffic because this is the safest spot for me to be in. So you show up to a stop, and all of a sudden, it's out of service.
What's plan B?
And what do you do?
Go above ground and call Wheel-Trans.
Yeah, or no, Wheel-Trans is not a same-day service. You
Yeah,
can't even do
can't
that.
do that same day.
Right? So you basically have to go inside and wheel to another accessible stop, which wouldn't be so bad if they were all accessible. Right? Because sometimes you're talking.
Yeah, sometimes
you're talking kilometers to get to the next stop.
Yeah.
Like if you look at where we were, the next accessible stop is Jane. So can you imagine the height from Kipling to Jane? At the bare minimum, all the stops should be accessible, let alone being able to access the trains more easily. Is my first opinion. It was a shame that we heard that this was going to happen in 2012, and now it's going to be extended. The first thing I'm going to ask the mayor to do is make the TTC accessible.
So with this short little jaunt, what do you think of it so far?
Well, I think that people that have mobility issues deserve to be able to use the fuller extent of Toronto's transit system. And even for my few minutes in a chair confronting the hazards of the gap, and here at Royal York Station confronting the insurmountable circumstances of all these stairs, tells me that we have a lot of work to do.